Yeah, this is Bang Bang Ray Hill. Please press the like button and subscribe. I used to work in a club in Twickenham, on Mac Wally's club. And anyway, there was this woman down the end of the road, massive house, really massive house. And she lost her husband, and her husband put the house become a probate. It came on probate, yeah. Had to find this out, certain things out. And people at the family was trying to bully her out of the house. Come and take it off of you and push her out. And she didn't want that, you know what I mean? And so she got hold of Wally. Wally asked me, he said, look, you want a job? I said, yeah, what's up? He said, look, there's a woman at the end of it, I've got a big house, would you go in and look after it for her? You know, I said, yeah. He said, but don't go in the house, right? The house is all locked up. In the back garden, there's a place called the Kennels. You know, dog kennels, you can live in there. I mean, what are dog kennels? But it was like a big flat in the back garden. It was called the Kennels for reasons you're not allowed a flat there, and she put a flat called the Kennels in it. So anyway, this flat was massive, really nice, beautiful flat. And now and again, I used to, you know, go in the house, get the keys, go out, walk around the house, make sure it was all sweet. And a couple of times I had a few people come there causing me problems. And, you know, and I'd have a row with them, chuck them out, I cough and all that sort of thing, you know, don't come in here again, mate, we're going to get a clump and all that sort of thing. So one night I'm in there, sitting down there, and someone knocked at the side door, and when they knocked at the side door, I think it's these brothers that come in the house, her for her relations, yeah? So I went round the side of the house, and it's a guy called Julian Davis, and he's with another guy, a big guy. He's an unlicensed fighter, I've seen him a few times. And this Julian Davis asked me, do I want to get involved in a book? He said, Wally told me you live up here, do you want to get involved in a book? And it's called Street Fighters. I went, yeah, of course. But I've been on crack for 2 days. Even though I've been working, I'm on crack on the pipe. It's crazy, you know what I mean, to go on that shit, yeah? And I was in a bad way as such. I had lost a lot of weight. I was still broad, but I lost a lot of weight, yeah? And I looked a bit muggy, really, but I still done the book. Julian Davis come in with this other geezer. And Julian Davis is such a nice guy. He just made it so easy for me to talk, you know. Really easy. He just pushed me a little bit forward, and I was talking, he pushed me a little bit more. No pressure, no real bad pressure. And so like about, what, I don't know, 2 months later, I'm back with my mum, going back to my mum's house, and Gary Francis, I was training down in the gym. Gary said, come down, they've got something to show you. So my mate Gary's just come back from Spain. So he went, come in here, what? I said, what? He said, look at this, look what I found on the bookshelf at the airport. And it was the book called Street Fighters, yeah? And it was, I couldn't believe it, you know what I mean? He was telling me, I was waiting to see this book, I never did get it. I never got no money for it. Just, it was about what, I don't know, maybe 30 fighters in there, 25, 30 fighters in there. You know, people that are bouncers, club bouncers and all that have been fighting all their life, not so much on the unlicensed fighting, but always been bully boys or unlicensed, or people who go collect debts and all that sort of thing, yeah? Enforcers and that, yeah? So I was real pleased to get it, you know what I mean, me in it as well, and it was called Street Fighters, and I was happy, you know, I thought, yes, mate, you know, and it was about my life. It was only a little bit, 14 pages, but it was well put together by Julian Davis. And when I was looking for the book, there's a few people, I'm going to try and get the book, yeah? I'm going to try and get the book, and you know, there's fighters in there, people in there, like Barty Gorman, was it Cockerill, Brian Cockerill was in there, Barty Gorman. There's a lot of old fighters in there, but people that was unlicensed fighters, and people that have right fighting in clubs and Dorman and all that. But, you know, I don't even get a mention today on any of the podcasts, yeah? And bet they're really good fighters. They run areas, you know, like Hartlepool, where Brian Cockerill run. Brian Cotterill's an enforcer. They said he was an unlicensed fighter. I've never seen Brian Cockerill doing unlicensed fighting. I've seen him on the bag. I see him on the pads. He was good on the bag. He was good on the pads. But I've never ever seen him any unlicensed fights. All the unlicensed fights I've had, I've never seen Brian Cockerill on any of the shows Whether or not he shows that in Hartlepool, that area, I don't know. But I've never heard of him having a fight. You know, there was a lot of hearsays, that says, them says, saying that he was going to come down and fight Lenny, say he was going to come down and fight Roy, and say he was going to fight other people on Cliff Fields. Well, he never did. I mean, if he'd have come down and fought Cliff Fields, he'd have got killed. He'd have got murdered. You know, Cliff would have just punched him away again. I know he was a big man, with 23, 24 stone, very powerful, very strong. You know, he was massive, good shape on him, good, really big shape. But Cliff Fields would have knocked him all around a gaff, you know. But when I see Brian Cockerill now, and I look at him now, did he have a heart attack or something? He's half the man he used to be, yeah. And it's a shame, yeah, that some people have some sort of a heart attack. I've had 4. I've had 2 heart attacks, and I've got 4 stents in my heart, but I haven't really lost that much weight to make me look that bad, yeah. Brian Cockerill doesn't look good at all. He looks a bit. He doesn't look like he did, you know. Big, powerful man. He's still. I should imagine he's still a handful. I don't know, yeah. But as I say, Cliff Fields. He wasn't in the book. Cliff wasn't in the book. There's a lot of people, a lot of fighters. Lenny wasn't in the book. Roy wasn't in the book. Lou Yates wasn't in the book. But there's a lot of people in that book, Street Fighters, that a lot of people that watch my podcast and watch my videos and watch other people's videos would remember. There's one in there that he's done. What is it? Bloody hell! A guy that I was away with in prison, the Welsh guy. What's his name? Police. Michael Peace. Michael Peace. He's in the book. Isn't it funny? I had that book for about 5 years when I came out of prison. I had the book. I've given a couple of copies away to people what I've asked for it, yeah. And now I want to get it back because I want to. There's fighters in there that I want to talk about, yeah. Fighters that talk about me and other things, you know, like to fight and all that game. But Michael Peace, he talks about him. Matt Legg talks about him, and he's in my book, the guy, you know. And it's just like I couldn't believe it really, when Matt Legg asked me about him. I didn't know that he was even in my book. Not in my book, but in Street Fighters, yeah. Brian Cockerill. When I see Brian Cockerill in the book after seeing him on YouTube and all that, and I thought, is that the same geezer? You know what I mean? Because I see him as he looks now, he looks a bit rough, yeah. But when I see him in the book, he's big guy, massive guy, got a good story. I've got 40. I'm one of the best stories that is in that book. I feel I've got about 14, 15 pages. Where some people have got 5 pages, 6 pages. I've got a lot of pages. Big story about me, but I think I'm only the West London guy in there. Yeah, there is a couple of. I mean, there was a couple of good fighters from West London that he never put in there, but the people that maybe didn't want to go in there or whatever. But it's a good book. You've got to get it. You know, it's called Street Fighters. Please get it. It's on Amazon. It's the guy is Julian Davis. You know, and it's a good book, mate. It's a good book. Read all about all the fighters in there. Fighters in there that there's a couple of guys that are on my comments and on my station, or what do you call it? So I all get mixed up, don't I? I always get my tongue tied, you know. That are on my channel, you know, that bought the book, you know, that bought the book because I was talking about the book Street Fighters, and they bought it, and they're really excited the way things are said about me, about other people. But I don't know. I think he's got it. Brian Cockerill, he's got the book. I think I'm not quite sure he run a lot of people down there. I don't think he's in it. What's his name? I got him here, Lee Duffy. I can't see Lee Duffy being in the book. I don't think I see Lee Duffy in the book. Brian Cockerill talks about Lee Duffy a lot. I've not seen him in the book. I definitely didn't see Lou Yates in the book. I'd have thought Lou Yates would have been in the book because he comes from that way. I bet he's in it and I've not even noticed it, you know what I mean? I bet he's in it, but as I say, my book is out soon. It's out very soon now. It's going to be a really good book, believe mate. I'm more excited to hear my book now. I mean, the guy is at the end of the book. He's finished the book. He's finished it, but there's all the other things, solicitors and other things, got to read the book and all that, you know. But more so, I want it read to me, yeah. So I'm so excited because, you know, it's all right talking about it and you forget about this, forget about that, and you know. But the guy that's done my book, he's fantastic, mate. He's a really good ghostwriter, and he puts me at ease. And I talk sometimes for 2 hours, 3 hours, and it all goes down, you know. And then he talks to me about it, and it gets a bit bigger. And I cut things out, and I remember more, you know. And a lot of people thank a lot of people for all the subscribes they give me, yeah. But I've done I've done nearly I think I've done 700 videos, and maybe a couple of podcasts, but 700 videos, you know. And that's like companies like Lad Bible have done about 870 videos, and they've got something like 3 million subscribers. I've done 700 videos, and I've got 6,500 subscribers, which I'm happy to get them, you know. I'm happy that people like what they read and all that, but it's going to get better. The Lad Bible one that I've done with Chrissy Lambiano is fantastic. I mean, Chrissy Lambiano is a face. It was done with the Krays. Chrissy Lambiano is a nice guy. He's into this, you know, kids don't carry knives, things like Matt Legg, that sort of thing, and Terry Ellis and all them people. But Chris Lambiano has changed his life, you know, changed his life big time, you know. And it was nice to sit down with Chris, and don't forget, Lad Bible, it doesn't matter, we've done 2.5 hours, 3 hours interview. They cut it, so we only done about 20 minutes, you know. So me talking to Chris about his life and this, that and the other, I learned a lot more from Chris, yeah, than you would know on my podcast with him at Lad Bible, you know. And Chris Lambiano, nice guy, mate. And it was such a shame that his brother, him and Chris, not Chris, what's his brother's name? I forget his brother's name now. They've got that bird, they got 15 years wreck. And I always thought that Ronnie Bender give the Krays the knife to kill the Krays, kill Jack the Hat. And all this time I thought that, yeah, and it wasn't Ronnie Bender. And I'm not going to say who it was, because it might not cut it, I don't know, you know. I'm not going to say that it was, but it wasn't Ronnie Bender. And Ronnie Bender got all that bird just for being in that place at that time. You know, what do you get, I don't know, 20 years, Ronnie Bender? You know, and Ronnie Bender was one of the nicest guys that I've ever met. Ronnie Bender used to help everybody out, never had that nasty bone in him, even though he trained to be in the Special Forces. He never had a nasty bone in his body. I liked Ronnie Bender a lot, you know. I could go and have a talk to him. Just a nice guy. Loved his football. He was like a manager of the football team. He couldn't play rugby. He tried to play rugby a couple of times. He got a couple of tackles by me and Brian Lyons, and he thought, no, I ain't doing that. He's had enough. No, I ain't doing that way. You know, no way. But as I say, it's a shame that people like Ronnie Bender that get involved with big gangsterism, and it was a big gangsterism, the Krays, and get Big Bird for nothing, just for being there, yeah, just for being in the conspiracy. I suppose it's like conspiracy, just for being there, really. And And the worst, they couldn't have got a worse judge than what they'd done. Melfi Stevens. I mean, Melfi Stevens was one of the worst judges at the Old Bailey. I mean, my judge, the judge I had, a judge called Griffiths Jones, was maybe on par with Melfi Stevens. And there's one more judge, a judge called Judge Denning. Check this judge out, Judge Denning. He was such a bad judge at the Old Bailey, mate. He was such a bad judge that he used to tell people that if you come in front of me, you're guilty. If you go not guilty, you're going to get found guilty, you're in trouble. But in my court, everybody that comes in my court is guilty. Yeah, he was a bad judge, mate, Judge Denning. Check him out, Judge Denning and Judge Melfi Stevens, and also the judge Judge Griffiths Jones. In my times, in the 60s and the 70s, I can go through a few judges that I know, yeah. They would say Melfi Stevens, Griffiths Jones, Judge Denning. Denning was the High Court judge. Denning was one of the top judges. You got Abdullah. You got Argyle. You got Mishkin. You got Mason. You got there's about, I don't know, there's about 20 judges on the circuit then. You used to have circuits, yeah? High Court circuits, like, I forget the names of them, but they used to have, like you could, what was it called? The assizes, I forget what it's called now, where you've got different areas, yeah? And these judges, and then the day that you go to court, or the night, the next day you're going to court, yeah? And sometimes you don't know what judge you got, you know, and people that shout, I've always said it before, but it's good, it's terrific. There's people that shout out the window, you know, to people, what court you going to, mate? I'm going to Knightsbridge. Or what judge you got? I've got so-and-so. They go, you don't want him, mate. You go in front of him, and I'll tell you what, you're going to get whooped up, yeah. There wasn't any judges, really. Mate, I think it was Argyle that loved people. It was either Argyle or Abdullah. It was one of them two, Argyle or Abdullah. I think it was Argyle that was that one. He was in charge of a boxing club. He was the overall person that run the club for the kids. And if you come in front of him for anything and you do boxing and all that, and you nearly another chance, he would give you that chance because you're a boxer. And me, when I went in front of Griffiths Jones, Griffiths Jones. When I went in front of Griffiths Jones, I was just starting to get my boxing licence, yeah, as a professional fighter. As I say, Mickey Duff and that lot, Mickey Duff and that. Mickey Duff, and I forget who else it was. Anyway, Mickey Duff come to my house, and with, I think it's Jarvis Estate. I'm not quite sure who he come to my house with. Anyway, when they come to my house, they wanted me at Zone Pro, but I wasn't around, you know. But I needed a chance when I got nicked for that sentence. Even though it was a violent thing against a police officer, they took that away from me. Yeah. The judge took that away from me, saying that I was a boxer who's going to be trying for a professional fight, a professional licence, and because of that, this man is a trained man with his fists, and this trained man with his fists, he's going to get a lot more sentence than anybody else because he's trained to punch people. It's crazy, isn't it? And then you lose your licence. Yeah. And I didn't have a licence to lose it, but I wanted a chance, mate. I wanted a chance. It's a shame, you know, like when we was doing the interview with Lad Bible, and they asked us, have we got any regrets doing what we did? And asked Chris, and Chris said, yeah, he's got regrets. And he sat there, he wished he didn't. Asked me, and I said, no, I've got no regrets. Because if I had regrets, I wouldn't have done it in the first place. I wouldn't have done it if you know, if straight away, if I thought, nah, I wouldn't have done it, but I had no regrets of doing what I did. The only regrets I had was getting caught. And getting caught and put in prison for a long, long time. That's my regrets. You know, not actually doing what I did. I wasn't sorry for that. I was sorry for getting put in prison for a long time. And when you and the worst part about being put in prison for a long time is the way life goes on in prison. It stagnates, yeah. It just stays still. It doesn't go nowhere, yeah. It stays as it is. You know, when you've come away, you don't think that person's got older or changed. You think the person's still the same. If you come away and your house was pink, when you come out, you still expect it to be pink. But it's been, you know, and it changes, you know, over the years. And when you come out and you go and see people, and maybe someone's boy or someone's daughter was 8, and you've done 10, 12 years or 15 years, and now they're 22, 23 years of age, and they're having kids, that's when you get to realise, you think, oh, mate, prison, what he does, you know, what he does. But we go back again for more, you know. As I say, I've got no regrets going in prison. It's the sentences that I regret and what you lose in your life, yeah. You lose people, you lose life. Life keeps going and going and going. In prison it stops, yeah. Life stops in prison. You don't really change. You know, you don't change. You just cocoon. It's just as well put you in a box, really, with ice and shut it up and let you out after 10, 15, 20 years, because that's exactly how it is. You know, when you get out, it's changed. It's like everything's different. The roads are different. The cars are different. The shops are different. The house is different. Everything's changed. And you think, wow, man. And the more birds you do, the more sentence you do, the quicker. And when you come out, and one day you come out and you walk down that high street, or you walk down another high street where people used to really respect you and frighten of you, and this, that, and the other. You go down these places and they don't care who you are. They don't know who you are. You're 20 years older or 15 years older. You've changed. And you're not that person. They ain't worried about your name. They don't care about who you are. Who's this fucking old man? You know what I mean? And that's how it is. And you lose all that. You think, oh, what happened to my life? It's gone. It's gone. You know, and like, it just goes, mate. And your mates, as I said, you know, their kids have got kids now, and their kids are like 10s and 8s, and you think, Jesus Christ almighty, you know. Yeah, that's the worst part. That's the worst part about going away. The way your life cocoons, and when you come out, you expect it to be the same, and it's not. It's moved on. So, people out there, as I say, I had no regrets about going away in prison. I didn't regret going away. I didn't regret what I did. I love what I done, but I regret getting the sentence that I got and coming out, and everything's changed. You know what I mean? It's mad. It's mad. All them people, all them girls, everything's changed, mate. No one knows you, you know, and that's the only difference it is. So when you now think about doing bits of work, going a bit of work, going a bit of payment, selling drugs, big loads of drugs, yeah, and you ain't got no fear about it. It's money that you want. It's good. Go and get the big bits of money, but it's a big bird that goes with it. It's not, you know, as I say, I didn't feel nothing about doing anything. I didn't know no regrets about doing it, but the regret I had was getting the sentence that I got, you know, and coming out after 7 years, 8 years, 10 years, 12 years, 15 years, and you think, Jesus Christ, is this for real? Is this for real? And now you got kids on my comments telling me about their dads that knew me, their dads are talking about me. And about what, I don't know, sort of a month ago, 6 weeks, 2 months ago, I got a message from a friend of mine saying there was 2 guys that wanted to see me in Kingston over Ham Common, because I bashed their dads up years ago. And then now these kids are men. And this was like a long time ago. You're talking about years ago. And now, like, you're talking about what? I was, in the 90s. You know what I mean? In the 90s. Like 90, what is it? 97? 97, 98, 96, 97. I bashed the old man up. These 2 guys up. And their sons looking for me. Now they're like 25, 30 years of age. It's crazy. 20 years of age. It's mad. Do you know what I mean? You think, 23, 24. You think, no, mate. It's like, and they want to come and see me and bash me up. They didn't turn up. They told my mate they didn't want to know, but it's not the point. The point is, that's what happens. It's like my son. My son is what? I've got, how many boys have I got? 3 boys, 4 boys, and 2 daughters. All right. My eldest boy is Jay. He had a car accident, Jay, and then he died. And he's now a father of a child. Big boy, If he hadn't had the car accident, he'd have been, well, he'd maybe been in prison with me. I wouldn't have liked it, but he might have been, yeah. Then I got what? My boy had a car accident, and he got a big insurance claim out of it and set his life out, 1.4 million, 1.5 million, and he sorted his life out, yeah. But if he hadn't had that accident, he'd have more likely bashed me up by now. And I got my other boy, one of my other sons, Sonny, my boy Sonny Michael. He's a big rugby player in Australia. He's about 6'4". He's 19, 20 stone, solid. He wants to kill me, yeah. He's just if he's watching this, stay in Australia, don't come down here. He's in Australia. He wants to kill his dad. I mean, he hasn't seen his dad. None of my kids have really seen me, yeah. And it's heartbreaking, isn't it, mate? That what life we had together. We had no life together. There isn't any conversation, so we've got to get to know each other. It's hard work, yeah. And then I got I got another one, Ricky, that he didn't even know that I was his dad until his stepfather died, and then his mum told him I was his dad, and he wants to be my son. Then I got another one. I forget his name. I think he's also Ricky, yeah. That happened years ago. That he's the eldest, but that happened years ago. But I see him in a scrapyard, and I didn't even know he was my boy. And I've been out of prison on another sentence, and someone said to me, there was this kid picking up this motorbike, putting it on the back of a lorry, putting it on the back of a trailer, back of a van thing, yeah, massive bike. This geezer's picking it up, pushing it out the back, boom. I went, all right, mate. He started shouting, oi, oi, and all that going. My mate said, oh, steady. I said, what's up with you? He said, you know what that is? I said, no. He said, it's your son. If he knows that you're there, he's going to kill you because he wants to kill you, mate. Because you have never seen him and never talked to him, you never sent him a letter, you never done nothing. And you think to yourself, wow, man. Wow, what a shame. It's just a shame. And my daughters, Ruby Ray. I've got my oldest daughter, Jamie. My Jamie, she's beautiful. She's got a little daughter called Bieber. I've never seen them. You know what I mean? And it's what sort of a dad am I, you know what I mean? And my daughter's always on Facebook with her daughter, and she's absolutely stunning. I don't see them. And my other daughter, Ruby Ray. Ruby Ray's in America. Danny Johnson, that's her mum. Her name is Ruby Ray Hill. It should be, but more like Danny Johnson now. Ruby Johnson. It's just, Now, if anybody knows them kids, Ruby Ray Johnson, Ruby Ray Hill, let me know, yeah? Because I miss her, man. I've not even seen her. She was like, I don't know, baby. You know what I mean? When I went away. And, you know, obviously, so you can't blame mums for taking the kids away from them, you know, the kids away from their dads when their dad's in prison all their life. You know, it's not good for the kids. You know, and that's the sort of, there's the sort of things, as I said, I don't regret going in prison. I regret the sentences they give me and losing my life, lost my life. I don't regret getting the money for the jobs I did. I don't regret that at all. I don't regret spending it on nice things. You know, I don't regret all that houses and holidays. I don't regret that. I don't regret having nice clothes, nice cars. I don't regret that. But I regret the sentences what go with it, yeah? So, you know, that's the worst part about it. That's the worst part about us going in prison, going away. You know, I mean, I don't know. And even going away in them days, prison was so bad. I mean, what do you want to come back for? What do you want to come back for when it's that bad, you know? But we don't want to come back, but we do. I don't think there's many people out there, many gangsters, villains, or whatever it is, that don't get nicked, don't go back in prison. Do you know what, mate? I've been out of prison now, 10 years? 10 years. I haven't done one thing wrong. I won't even spit on the ground. IPP, keep my nose clean. I can't even get a passport still. After 10 years, I'm still on my IPP. I went on a board to get off my IPP. I'm still on my IPP after 10 years. It should be over with now. You know, I'm still there, mate. I'm still there. And it's because, you know, you are, and they ain't giving you a chance, mate. They ain't giving you a chance to straighten your life up, to change, which I have, you know. And one day, I hope one day, I'm in this, so one day that I get to see my kids. I get to see them all. I get to meet them all at once, yeah, and take them all to dinner and just sit down and be with my kids. Just to see what they look like even, mate, you know what I mean? To see what they look like and, you know, to see the ones you've not even seen. That's the worst of it, you know, the ones you've not even seen. Like the boy that I've not even seen, only in the scrapyard, I don't even see him. My daughter, Ruby Ray, I've not even seen. Don't even know what she looks like, you know. It's just bad, isn't it? But anyway, and yeah, but I don't know what I wade into. I don't know. I told you this big story, yeah. Yeah, it was about my book, Street Fighters. Get it, buy it. It's Julian Davis, the guy. He was going to do as it happens, Julian Davis was going to do my book. He said, right, I'm up for it now, mate. I couldn't do it. I can't get round it, a book no more. You know, it isn't that easy to do. There's a guy called Lee Wolseley, nice guy, mate, big guy. He's one of the guys what's involved with Julian Davis. The guy that was with Lee Wolseley is the guy, the big guy who come with Julian Davis. Lee Wolseley done Lenny McLean's book and a few other books. He was going to do my book, but for some reason something happened. We didn't get to do it, yeah. But Lee Wolseley, nice guy. Comes from up what is it, Chichester way? Is it not Chichester? Where are all the fish? Where do they do all the fish? Get the fish from? What's it called? Anyway, Grimsby, innit? Grimsby, yeah, up that way, yeah. Nice geezer, Lee, mate. You can talk to him, he's a gentleman, and I loved him to death, mate. And if you're listening to my podcast, Lee, how you going, mate? Give us a call sometime, Lee, you know what I mean? He's a nice guy, mate, Lee. I really liked him. Anyway, this is Bang Bang Rail. Sorry about me going on, like I've been going on. Please press the like button if you like what you hear. And tomorrow, yeah? Take care. Have a nice night, yeah? Bye-bye.